First of all, let me tell you that Adam's Rib Media Ministry lives on. I ain't going nowhere. Period. That's a message to my enemies as well. Not going nowhere. So, this morning I had a little bit of supernatural warfare going on. So I was just like, let me go ahead and make up my little thingy poo and put it out there and let, those who regularly follow me um, know that I am going to be on today just later. And as you can hear, I'm going through a little bit of thing with my voice. I'm not quitting music ministry either. So, few little updates. I still have some stuff that I need to post this week. So, let me see here. Some of the subjects I want to get on because as I keep going, I keep getting more topics. So some of these are going to extend into March because March is Women's History Month. So for me, March, just to go ahead and give you guys, um, so for March being Women's History Month, let me look here because I've been looking at one of the things that I have liked about this Black History Month is that it hasn't just been about um, touching on notable women or notable Black people. Of course, I think about women because I've been doing 21 20, and this is going to be an annual thing. As long as Media Ministry is around, I'm going to continue to do the 20 28 29 days of Black feminism every February. Um, it's just always nice to celebrate those. I also reposted and I put on my Anjanette Speak blog um, the definition of feminism, the history behind feminism is I reposted that so that you can get, I'll probably do that every year too because there's so many people who claim feminism and you kind of have to go, okay, did you read up and do you know what that really means? Especially when you're talking about Black feminism, because there's a thing called intersectionality, and I'm going to revisit that this week and talk about it. I'm gonna do a few do more podcasts this week. I didn't get a chance over the weekend like I would have liked. The weekend was spent working, but it was more like trying to get my technology together. I got some more speakers. And I was trying to get those going so that when I do Friday nights broadcast, I have the sound that I want. What I'm eventually wanting to do is be able to go live, broadcast from Station Head because I now have the ability to do that on my laptop, and then eventually, it's a picture back there, child, with all of this picture in picture and people being able to want to sit in on your podcasts and stuff. Sometimes I'll see a little corner of a picture and I'm like, okay, no, that's nobody. For one thing, we have to let them in. They can't just pop in on our broadcast like this. We have to let them in. So this week I will talk about. I have quite a few podcasts that I have to get done this week. So let me see. Women's History Month, March 1st. So the theme for Adams Rib Media Ministry for March is going to right. So, okay. So I'm trying to sit here for a minute. So I'm having a little bit of interruption here. What I eventually want to be able to do is broadcast live from Station Head, but also be able to broadcast live from here as well. And, be able to do the two together, so that you can see my lovely face, but also so that we can interact, which we can interact on the Station Head too, but I also want to be able to interact with you through the lives where I am. I want to be able to interact with you on YouTube. I want to be able to interact with you on Facebook, on both my Facebooks, my personal and the Adams Red Media Ministry Facebook page. I also want to be able to interact with you on Twitter and on Twitch. Wherever you follow me, I want us to be able to interact. I am taking requests for music this week. So if you have any songs that you want to hear, wherever you're seeing this live, if you have some songs and the theme is Black exploitation or Black Renaissance, and I'm going to tell you that night why I'm thinking Black exploitation may not have been a very proper term for what was going on during that period. So, as I do that, um, if you have songs from that period that you want to hear, you can go ahead and request them and everything. Let me see here. Okay, I was trying to get my thing open. So anything that you would may want to request and want to hear, go ahead and put it on because when you comment on my stuff, I get those comments. Like the system notifies me every time you comment. So you don't have to worry about your comments being unheeded or whatever. I'm still a little small right now. So sometimes I have to go, oh, somebody commented. I remember the first time I got a comment, I was so excited. And so now it's starting to get to the point where comments are a regular thing. And I want to keep the discussion open. I want to keep the whatever we're talking about open. Same way with the podcast. And like I said, if you're following me on Anchor or if you follow me on Apple, on Apple or any of the other platforms that I'm on, if you have an idea or you have something that you want me to discuss or want me to research for you, you can always, well, Anjanette, what do you think about blah blah blah, or what about this, that, and the other? Go ahead and comment it, and I will. I have a message system under Anchor that if you want to leave me a message, go ahead. For those that follow me, I want this, like I said, to be like a discussion. Please be pleasant. Don't be rude. Don't say anything about me saying, like I said, I've already got software in place for me to be able to pontificate in a proper manner or whatever. I'm not doing this. One thing about if it's yours, um, you don't have to worry about when something is yours, you don't have to worry about somebody firing you from it. I don't. You've got to be kidding me. This is getting on my nerves. Okay, but you want a black man. Okay. So this is just one of those mornings. Like I said, I'm going through some tremendous warfare. Some people don't like to face the fact that they completely messed up with you, and that's why you're not at their church. I think that we as women at times do men a disservice by putting up with behavior and acting as though things are cool when they're not. I was not taught to um, let everything go. So anyway, let me get down to some headlines, some updates here, some stuff that I, because this is Monday morning quarterback. So some things that I have seen over the weekend. Looks like Chris Brown is under investigation for battery against two women. So this is courtesy of the Grio. Chris Brown is under investigation for two separate battery incidents involving two women in Miami over a year ago. As recorded by Uproxx, one of the alleged victims claimed she was assaulted December 30th, 2020, on a yacht docked near Diddy's home. The Miami Beach police confirmed the woman claims that she was drugged and raped by Brown. Ouch. In January, it was reported that she initiated a $20 million lawsuit related to the alleged attack. The second alleged victim was at the same yacht party, but claims that she was sexually assaulted by Brown the following day after she and a friend were invited to his hotel room. Damn. Per, per the police report, while there, the woman says Brown shoved two of his fingers that were coated in a white powdery substance into her mouth. Ugh. She then blacked out for several hours and woke up in the suite without her cell phone, and her female companion was also gone. I have some thoughts I want to share. The investigation into both women's claims comes after the first woman sued Brown for 20 million. The Grio previously reported that when this woman, who was a choreographer, dancer, model, and recording artist, said she met Brown at the yacht party, he served her a mixed drink from the kitchen and offered her tips about starting a career in the music industry. It was at this point that the woman said Brown, 32, gave her a second drink and she became disoriented, physically unstable, slipping in and out of consciousness. She then says the singer took her into a bedroom on the yacht where he prevented her from leaving and also raped her. The woman claims Brown called and told her to take Plan B, an oral contraceptive to prevent pregnancy, just one day after he allegedly ejaculated inside of her. According to TMZ, Ariel Mitchell and George Verbeck, the victim's lawyers, acknowledged that she took the Plan B but was too embarrassed to report the alleged rape to authorities at the time of the incident. Brown addressed the $20 million lawsuit on Instagram, claiming that it was a pattern of cap. In case you're unaware, cap means lie. I hope y'all see this pattern of cap. Whenever I'm releasing music or projects, they try to pull some real bullshit. I don't know. Let me say this. So, an artist has some stuff coming out, and all of a sudden, there's these accusations coming out too. I don't know who's pulling the real pattern of cap. Okay, because you got to keep your name out there, and unfortunately, in the entertainment industry, I don't really think that there's any such thing as bad publicity. It really has to depend if you one of these men that's pretty much a daggone hoe when it comes to the type of publicity that you get, then you're not really gonna care. Um, you're not gonna really care what kind of publicity you get as long as your name is out there, because pretty much the music buying public has pretty much already shown after the Rihanna incident that they weren't going nowhere, and that his behavior really didn't matter behind the scenes. Okay, so I don't know that it's the woman pulling the cap. If there's any falsity to this at all, it may be some of their people. So the Miami Beach Police Department is investigating both battery allegations, and Chris Brown is also embattled in a copyright infringement case for No Guidance, his collaboration with Drake. So I personally am not shocked. A lot of the stuff he does follows the pattern of men who are violent. So you kind of have to. I'm gonna say this: when you're trying to break into something and people have power, especially men who have power, people tend to think of women who bring assault accusations. There's familiar tropes that people like to operate under. The feminists, and I am one, call it rape culture. But one of the things that some common sentences that a lot of abusers or violent men like to say is, of course, it's always the victim's always lying. The people who are very ill informed love to ask, well, why didn't they come forward sooner? Well, they're coming forward. I don't think it matters when you come forward. It's better if you come forward when it truly happens, but there are reasons why victims don't come forward. Many, especially if the person is famous and more powerful and has more money, more power and more push. And if you're trying to get into the same industry that the violent person is in, that's also something that has to be taken into consideration, because I'm experiencing that now, dealing with ministry. Some guys are just jerks, and it's almost you damned if you do and you damned if you don't. If you don't, then they make your life hell. If you do, then they make your life hell. Okay, I rather don't. I'm tired of men. I was talking about that this morning. I was thinking about that this morning. Like, how many women do you know in church that have been victimized by a pastor who swore up and down it was God's will for y'all to sleep together? If I were to ask for a show of hands, I wonder how many hands I would get. Now, before everything was happening to me, that's been happened to me at the hands of the church, the two churches that I, have had all the problems from, and it's a particular denomination. Okay, before all of that started happening to me, with that, I used to be a fan of the talk shows. I used to be a Phil Donahue and Oprah stan. I used to love to watch them. And I can't tell you the number of times Sally Jesse Raphael. After a while, I was addicted to all of them, but Oprah was my main one that I watched. So one of the things that I've always thought about, I'm like, God must only talk to horny Christians because you never hear nobody. Yeah, this is not going to be my last live or anything like that. Um, Whenever you hear pastors trying to get over on women, it's always God told them. Because God cares so much about these men's sex drives that he's just disavowing everything that he wrote in his word about staying sexually pure till marriage. Okay, well, but since I like this pastor's smile, I'm going to let you go ahead and violate all the women that you want, because it happens in church too. Don't let the Christian church fool you. I remember there was a saying when I first got saved, and it was and the saying was, what's in the world is also in the church. Now, you would think by us being the church, being the ecclesia, the called out ones, that we would be able to be an example to the world of how we're supposed to handle such stuff. But many times we don't handle it any better than they do. Okay. But many times, like I said, especially if you're trying to break into the same industry that they're in, they have the power to make people not work with you. I've been blackballed. Okay. So when you hear people, I've seen people's responses to Monique here lately talking about the whole Tyler Perry thing. And it's like, Well, stop. I think that men need to own up. If you blackballed the woman, then tell the truth. If it was really, her being difficult, I'm going to talk about a number of different topics. And like I said, the stuff that I didn't get to go over during February for Black History Month, I'm going to take into Women's History Month. So I'm gonna still talk about it. I got notables on top of notables being packed up here, and you're going to be surprised with the notables because more and more of them keep showing up. So I'm like, okay, I can talk about this person. So let me put this person in my notes or whatever, so I can talk about them. So now, I have a little bit of an update. The World Health Organization on Friday warned that the COVID-19 pandemic is not yet over and said that there's a possibility, I believe it's real, of new variants. H World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom, a child, all these names, told attendees at the Munich Security Conference in Germany that vaccinations and the fact that Omicron has turned out to be a far less severe variant are driving a dangerous narrative that the pandemic is over. Yeah, it's not over, but it's not. Not when 70,000 people a week are dying from a preventable and treatable disease. So, you guys know that over the weekend, it was released in the press that Queen Elizabeth has tested positive. And before that, Prince Charles. So, nobody is above prayer. So, pray for those that are suffering with this disease. Not when 83% of the population of Africa has yet to receive a single dose of vaccine, he continued. Not when health systems continue to strain and crack under the caseload. Not when we have a highly transmissible virus circulating almost unchecked with too little surveillance to track its evolution. So, for me, I don't think the pandemic is winning. I don't feel that way at all. But these touch screens. But but what I am sensing, one of the things that I said when I was walking around when this whole thing first started, I was just like, I don't think we need to sleep on this. And I turned out to be right. So I do believe that we do need to, as the Black community, please cooperate with the please try your level best to cooperate with the vaxes and everything. I know that we have a bad past history with the medical establishment. I went ahead and got vaxxed because, like I said before, she I have diabetes too, so I cannot afford to have COVID. Okay, so let me. Mm-mm-mm. So So this is from Black Enterprise. A Black woman will own a 130 multi multi-million dollar production studio in Atlanta. So if you don't know, Atlanta is Tyler Perry country. Um, and she she's going to be there. So it looks like she's going to give him a run for his money. She is now majority owner of a new multi-million dollar um, film pro- film and television studio in Atlanta. The Atlanta Journal Constitution reports. Her name is Tammy Williams. She has over 25 years' experience in the film television industry. She has written and produced a plethora of projects, such as films, biographies, and documentaries, um, entertainment, and network news, according to her biography in IMDb. So, Miss Williams owned her first digital production company called Tammy Deal film in 2016 and is now the first Black woman to own a $135 million studio and post production facility space in Atlanta. She and her business partner Gary Gildry, an investor and CEO of C Square Events and Black Promotions Collective, founded Cinema South Studios. This is, she said, we've been patient. This has not been an overnight thing. No, it's not. It takes time when you have stuff that you want to build. So that is very inspiring to me. I hope it's inspiring to you. It's one more reason that Adams Rib Media Ministry is living on. This is my baby, and I'm keeping this baby alive. So let me see here. So let me see here. So there is a new movie coming out. It stars Kiki Palmer. The name of the movie, I just saw the commercial for it. It's called Alice. So Alice is a 2022 American thriller film written and directed by Kristen Verlinden, and in her dictorial. So Kristen Verlinden is the director, and it's her directorial debut. Lord have mercy. It stars Kiki Palmer, Johnny Lee Miller, Common, Gaius Charles, and Alicia Witt. Okay. So this movie is premiered in the 2022 Sundance Festival, January 23rd, and it is scheduled to be released March 18th, so this coming month, by Roadside Attractions and Vertical Entertainment. So the plot is a woman is enslaved on a 19th century plantation in Georgia, and she's attempting to escape. She realizes it's actually 1973. This is supposed to be This is supposed to be based on a true story. I'm like, Lord have mercy. And she meets a truck driver who helps her adjust to the time period. She persuades him to go back with her to the plantation so that she can extract revenge on her cruel former owner. I'm like, wow. The ads say that it's based on a true story. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for here. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so this is all news that I got over the weekend that I thought was interesting. So a Tennessee woman is accused of raping at least 9 students. Community is shaken by the allegation. So members of a Tennessee community expressed shock and outrage last week after a 38-year-old woman was accused of using vape pens, and other enticements to lure local students into having sex with her. Melissa Blair and of Englewood was arrested and facing charges of solicitation of a minor, 18 counts of statutory rape, 4 counts of human trafficking by patronizing prostitution, and forfeiture of personal property. WTVC TV of this is of Chattanooga, Tennessee reports there were at least 9 victims who were 14 to 17 at the time of the alleged crimes and attended the same high school, the station reported. Authorities believe more victims exist. Min, McMinn County District Attorney Steve Crump told the station. Okay. Stage parents need to talk to their talk to their children to speak up because it's not right. It's really not right. Englewood resident Christy Teague told the station reacting to the allegations against Blair. I would be livid if it happened to my kids. I would too. Lord, I'm telling you right now. But see, the thing of it is as a parent, you can say, "Well, God, I'm so glad my kids are grown," but stuff can happen to them grown. There's never a time as a parent that you can ever be like once you bring a person into this world, your days of worrying have just begun, and it doesn't get any better the older that they get. You feel like they're safe from the kind of things that make them vulnerable as children, but they can be grown and wind up in crazy relationships. Like there's so much that can still happen to them even after they're grown. Not only that, but your kids have kids, so now you get to worry about your grandchildren and everything. And I'm on my first grandchild now. And I hear reports about stuff like every age he was, when I would hear a report about something happened to a kid within that same age group, I'm just like, I want to hear it. Um, it's terrible. Like I don't know if we're starting to hear more about women with this kind of mess. I'm like, um, that's just crazy. Okay, I've already talked about Queen Elizabeth testing positive for COVID-19. It says she will continue light duties. Buckingham Palace has said in a statement um, Sunday. So Queen Elizabeth tested positive for COVID-19. Her Majesty is experiencing mild cold like symptoms, but expects to continue light duties at Windsor over the coming week. She will continue to receive medical attention and will follow all the appropriate guidelines. As if to show the monarch is still carrying on shortly after her diagnosis was announced, the palace released a message from the Queen's Twitter congratulating Great Britain's women's curling team for winning a gold medal at the Beijing Winter Olympics. I keep saying every time the Olympics comes around, I keep saying I'm gonna watch it this time, and I wind up not watching it. And to be honest with you, I like sports. I can remember watching it when I was a kid, and now like I keep saying it, and I keep not doing it, and everything. I've watched like some clips off and on YouTube and everything, but so we just have to keep Her Majesty lifted up in prayer, as well as some of the as well as the other as well as the other people who are being diagnosed with it. It's still going on. From what I read, Amora Cran wasn't quite as vicious as they thought it would be. So for television over the weekend, there is a upcoming adaptation of the Eurovision Song Contest set in the United States. It's called the American Song Contest. It will be in all 50 states, 5 territories, and Washington, D.C. And there will be people competing for the title of Best Original Song. The contest is set to take place in the period between March 21st and May 9th and will air on NBC. The show will be hosted by Snoop Dogg and Kelly Clarkson. So, if you're into music, and I am, so I will be watching. I like stuff like this. I like to watch contests because first of all, I like to wonder if I know who's gonna win. Okay, like can I pick them? Because and I feel confident because everybody that I'm a fan of now are people that have been around over the past 30, 40 years. And I'm like, I remember the first time I saw a lot of them. So, okay. And I was looking, if you get a chance to check out NBC's Peacock Network, I went ahead and downloaded it on my Roku, so I got to watch I binge watched the first season of That's My Jam, which is hosted by Jimmy Fallon. The series is based on the music themed segments of the Tonight Show. So he does little skits that involve music or whatever. So the preview episode was November 29th. I got to watch it. Like I watched it and then I fell off. So it's a game show and I watched the first season. It's actually a pretty good show. It looks like it's pretty fun. So, I'm all for him having a next season to watch and everything. So, like I said, I went ahead and did today's update because I don't want to get slack when it comes to the stuff that I do and the content that I create and everything. This is a job, but it's a job that I feel like I've been graced for. So I will continue to do it. Anyway, you guys have a good rest of your Monday. It's almost what 3:30, 2:30. So it's 2:30. So enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your week. I will have more content coming up this week for the rest of Black History Month. I will see you guys Friday morning because I will be doing Friday morning live. And so you guys have a good one. Um, I love you all. And Adam's Rib Media Ministry ain't going nowhere.